A comedian made a customer cry at my company, and I laughed so hard I had to hide in the staff room. I own a Laugh Factory franchise in Chicago, and usually our customers are a pleasure to host, don't get too drunk, laugh at everything, always give compliments to the comedians on the mic. But this particular Saturday night, I witnessed something that made me question whether I should fire my top comedian, Princeton, or give him a raise. We were about 2 minutes from closing when this couple I didn't recognize walked in. The girlfriend immediately started apologizing to us, saying she knew it was late and they'd probably missed everything, but could they at least grab a drink before we closed? She seemed genuinely sweet, the kind of person who apologized to the ducks when she didn't have any bread. So I let them into the bar. I was going to tell Princeton to serve them some alcohol and crack a few jokes anyway, because it's Saturday night and why not? But before I could even say anything else to Princeton, the woman's boyfriend cut her off with this aggressive nudge that made my stomach turn. "Ignore the woman," he said, rolling his eyes like she was a burden. Then the boyfriend actually snapped his fingers in her face like she was a dog and said, "Sit, let the men talk." He then turned to Princeton and declared, "We want 2 beers, make sure they're large, and make it snappy." The way he said it, with this smug grin like he thought he was the shati, made me want to personally tell him to F off. But Princeton was already behind the bar, reaching for the pint glasses, so I let it slide. That's when the girlfriend's face went red, and she quietly said, "Actually, I just wanted a small cider, something light." But she was then interrupted by her boyfriend suddenly towering over her, looking like he was ready to fight. "Are you effing stupid?" he said, loud enough that our security guard turned to look. He says, "Shut up, nobody cares what you want." Then he turned back to Princeton with this disgusting smile, expecting him to approve of how he treated his girl. Women, am I right? They never know what's good for them. I mean, look at her. She can barely form a thought without my help. That's why I keep her around though, if you know what I mean. Anyway, get us 2 large beers, and make hers extra large since she clearly needs it. Princeton tried to play it off, but I could see the way his jaw clenched with anger. To him, this was personal, because growing up his dad was extremely abusive, the type of guy who only knew how to communicate with violence, whose favorite hobby was gambling away all his money. Luckily, Princeton managed to turn that trauma into some of his best material. But right now, watching this unfold, I could tell it was all coming back to him. The girlfriend's voice was somehow even smaller now, and she looked like she was going to cry, "My love, I really don't want a large beer." This time she was interrupted by her boyfriend grabbing her wrist, not hard enough to leave a mark, but hard enough to make a point. "You're more useless than I thought. When I say you want a large, that's what you want. Stop embarrassing yourself." That's when I saw it. Princeton's expression shifted from anger to a slight smile. His eyes glimmered, and he stood with 1 foot out in front of him. I recognized that look completely. It was the same face he had on stage when he thought of the perfect comedian line to say, one that would make the entire audience cry with laughter. My heart started racing because I knew this was it. Whatever he was about to say would either end this man's entire existence or get Princeton arrested. The air in the room felt electric. Even the security guard sensed something massive was coming. Princeton took a slow breath, the same one he used right before delivering punchlines that made grown men question their entire existence. With all the tired sarcasm of someone who'd been dealing with drunk jerks for years, Princeton leaned forward slightly. "Let me get this straight," he said, his voice carrying that perfect comedic timing. "Is this like a regular thing in your relationship? You insisting it's large and strong when she clearly knows it's small and disappointing?" The girlfriend completely lost it, and I ran to the staff room. Her and Princeton are dating now, and she never has to worry about size again.